break. Great time over the holidays.
Yes.
T, how we doing, my man?
I'm doing good. This is a very special edition of Boston Has Entered the Chat. We've actually been talking about this, George and I, for a long time. We convinced our producers to do this format that you're going to see in this program. So thank you to the producers for actually listening to us and letting us do this, because the questions have been rolling in.
Happy with them.
Love people want to know how we feel about certain things.
Yeah, we'll be doing
we're going to get
advice.
into it.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is actually when we came up with the inception of the email, which is thechat@nesson.com.
Yes.
If you want to email in, it could be sports, or as you guys will see over this episode, it can be life advice. Like we'll go through on any topic. You guys will see the range. But email thechat@nesson.com. When we came up with the email, for me. And I'll plug the podcast at the end where I got this inspiration from. But if you know life advice, you know where it's from. This is kind of my vision of it. I love the emails we get about sports, but as we want to do with the chat, man, I mean, it's more than sports, what we've talked about time to time, movies, life, whatever. That's what we'll get into here. So we're going to be talking about, is a college degree worth it?
Yep.
What you should do at the gym if you're a 5 a.m. gym goer when it comes to talking to people. Can your hairstyle impact your job?
Girlfriend advice,
significant other advice, always needed. Proposal advice, always needed. And some general life advice as well. So let's get into the first email. So this is anonymous.
Okay.
And the emailer wrote in, what's everyone's opinion on pursuing a college education? I personally think it's not worth it, since after college, it's tough to find jobs still. Now, you may be wondering what I graduated with. I got my degree in electrical engineering, and it took me quite a bit of time after college to find a job.
Yeah.
I know some can argue that it would be a lot worse if you didn't have a degree. I just personally think that a college degree is gradually losing value. If you can get everyone's thoughts on it, that would be great. You can be harsh too and say it's crazy talk. I like hearing all perspectives. I like this emailer being open to just open advice. What jumps out to me on this one, if we speak on what we did, we majored the same thing. You at Towson, me at Seton Hall.
That's right.
Basically communications. I did TV broadcasting.
I did the same as you.
TV broadcasting.
TV broadcasting.
Cool.
My minor was radio production.
Dope. My minor was English.
Yep.
Great. As I say the word dope, improper English. Electrical engineering, I don't know if you need a college degree, because where does the experience come from? Now, could you go to trade school instead, become an electrical engineer? I think what the emailer points out, though, it took me quite a bit of time after college to find a job. Yeah. I don't think if you do or don't have a college, I feel like having a college degree can help you find a job quicker than if you don't. But I think like the long-term benefits, and I think this is the big combo with college degrees and how valuable they are, it all depends what you do, you know? Like what we do, I'll say this, the college degree helped me get an internship, and then beyond that internship helped me, I got an internship with the New York Giants. So I'll be like very precise with this actually. I would not have gotten that internship if I didn't go to Seton Hall.
Right.
And then I remember my first job out of college, what stuck out to them the most on my resume was I shot New York Giants training camp practice throughout the season. Did I actually, the entire season? No. A few days through training camp, yes. So like you can shoot football. That's really big in local news, your first job out of college. If I didn't go to Seton Hall, I wouldn't have interned at the Giants. If I didn't intern at the Giants, would have gotten that job in Joplin? I don't know. And then again, because of me going to Seton Hall and the relationships I put together there, I had an internship at Fox Sports 1. When I was applying here to Nesson, there was a mutual connection between the person hiring me here at Nesson and my boss at Fox Sports 1. Luckily, I wasn't a knucklehead. I ended up getting the job here at Nesson. College, to me, helps get that first job out of college, and there could be the networking that helps down the road. But I think nonetheless, like how far you excel in your career is how good you are. And it also, to me, depends on the career you go into. Like, what can you learn? Can you learn being hands-on? Because I have friends. I have a buddy of mine I grew up with. Zach Sang's his name. He does Top 40 radio. Wildly popular. He's based out of LA now. He dropped out of college after his sophomore year, started podcasting in his bedroom. And I thought he was nuts. I'm like, what is Zach doing with the podcasting? Uber successful, huge name, didn't need a college degree. So with electrical engineering, I don't know, but I like this question.
It's a great question, and I think you nailed everything. I completely agree with you. I mean, look, I jotted down a couple things you were just throwing out there so humbly as you often do, but Seton Hall is something that will grab a potential employer's eyes and attention. Giants, New York Football Giants is another one. FS1, another one. I guess my point being, sort of piggybacking off what George said, is, you know, college does sort of get you in the door, at least traditionally. I know things are changing now, and you even say in this question, you know, you can be too harsh and say it's crazy talk.
It's
but
not.
Look, it's 2024 going on 2025. there's no such thing as crazy talk anymore,
Yeah.
okay? So everyone's perspective is different on this, so I'm glad you came to us. You're in electrical engineering. We don't know anything about that world. I agree with George that I think a lot of things can be accomplished by trade schools, but I would say where you go to a trade school and you pick up the skill to do said trade, you may not have the same networking opportunities as you would with college, where college, in theory, you go to college to learn said skill just like you would trade school, but it's a much larger, more vast network of alumni, of your current classmates, things of this nature that you can take advantage of. So I still believe college is valuable and a viable tool for you to get into whatever field. I know my kids are 7 and 5 in terms of ages, and I'm already talking to them about college. So I also think some of this, too, is your background and how you grew up. You know, I grew up in a black household. Both of my parents were adamant. I never had a choice. You're going to college. Mm-hmm. But their end game wasn't necessarily just to teach me the importance of college. Their end game with me personally was, hey, your ancestors fought and died for the opportunity to just gain knowledge, period.
Yeah,
Forget college. I mean, that was pie in the sky for a long time. Our ancestors fought just to acquire knowledge, to learn how to read, to educate yourself. So, you know, that was sort of my parents' end game. It was more like, you are going to do this because of those who came before you who sacrificed their lives. Yeah. So I didn't really have a choice. You know, obviously college worked out for me, and here I am at Nesson. So obviously they were right on that. But although I talk to my kids openly about college, if they get to your age and they come to me with this question, I'm not going to force them to do anything. I'll give them the wisdom I'm giving you, which is, you know, obviously there's more than one path to success. George told you about his buddy who dropped out and was podcasting from his closet in his room, and he's successful, right? So everybody's path is a little different. I'm on team college for the simple fact that you can learn your skill that you want to do, and also you have a vast network. But if you're not going to utilize that, then maybe it isn't worth it. Maybe it is better off to go for a trade school, but I think networking is more important maybe than any of this stuff.
And it may not, I don't think it's networking alone. Yeah. It's the tools you can get into your college. Yeah. So my buddy Zach, like, he started podcasting 2011 in his bedroom in Wayne, New Jersey. I'll never forget. And he'd post about it. And he would do, like, have his mom call him, be a fake caller. He'd have me call him. I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll help. He had the tools, and he found the way to find those to propel himself in his career. The reason I got the internship at the New York Giants, it wasn't dropped in my lap. I worked at my student radio, which was a hard rock station, but we did sports. I worked at the student-run television station. I worked at the athletic-run television station. So I did that first, and that got me the experience and the knowledge of shooting and editing to intern with the Giants. Hands-on. Right? So if you're pursuing, in this case, electrical engineering, college is worth it if the college you go to has the right resources. Yeah. So I think that's what it should come down to. Like, what's your career? What's your goal? Right. And then don't just go to a college because it's good. Yeah. Because, like, Syracuse has the #1 communication program in the country. Sure. But if you're going to business school, you wouldn't go to Syracuse. If you're going to business school, you go to whatever the top business school is in the country, right? Yep. So it's identifying what that college provides and if it's worth it. And at the same time, like, okay, electrical engineering, again, do you just want to learn to be one and start your own business? Well, you don't need networking in that case. You may need it to learn the job, but do you need that college degree to go to an electrical engineer, knock on his door, lack of a better term, be like, hey, can I volunteer on the weekends? Hey, do you have a part-time opening so you can learn hands-on? I think that's a great point. Even the region where I'm from, speaking to electrical engineering, where I'm from, Virginia Tech is a big, engineering school. Oh, yeah. And so my friends who are engineers or Hokies, they went to Virginia Tech. And so when I say networking, they went to that school, kind of what George is speaking to. They went to that school knowing this school is the engineering school in this area. Okay, great. Well, they go there, they get their degree, and then by networking, I mean internships, or you graduate and you're looking for a job, you start reaching out to engineers who went to said school. So in this case, Virginia Tech, and they're spread all over the country. So, hey, my name's so-and-so. I just graduated from this school. Can you help me out with a job? They're always going to watch out for you 10 times out of 10 more than someone else who may be as qualified as you,
but didn't go. They don't have that same kind of connection, that connective tissue of going to the same school. So that's why I think I'm still very pro-college, but I'm not pro-college enough to say, shame on you for going to a trade school, or shame on you for dropping out of college if it wasn't the right fit. Or some people go to the military and don't go to college. Some people go ROTC to a college and then go into the military after that as an officer. So there's so many paths. I think the key for you, my friend, is listen. It sounds so hokey, but it is true. Like, listen to your heart. What does your gut say? What does your logic say? Put all those things in a pot and come up with a decision and lean into it. Commit to whatever decision you make. If it's a trade school, go for it. Crush it. And when you get out, figure it out. If it's college, go for it. And that's another thing, too. I would say college adds life experience.
Oh, 1,000%.
You're going to meet so many friends. You're going to go to so many parties. You're going to do so much fun stuff.
You can't deny that experience.
You can't deny that experience. And that's an added bonus to why the college path is still viable, in my opinion.
It's also what I think of with this, too. It's, again, like, is a college right for you? Is it the right fit? And it all depends on what you do. Like, I remember one of my friends, she's a teacher, and I go, do you think, and she went to a really good school, did you need to go to college to become a teacher? She goes, no, but I needed a certificate. But she goes, what makes a teacher good is how you handle kids, how you handle adversity, and of course your knowledge. Now you can learn that in a classroom, but she's teaching fourth graders.
You need life experience.
She has a high school level education. She could teach fourth graders. Exactly. Getting a college degree doesn't make you a good teacher.
Right.
It's how you are as a person. Another friend of mine, she's a speech pathologist. She said, definitely I needed it. I need to know how the body works because she can't help. Again, she works with kids. But she can't help a kid overcome a speech impediment or whatever they're dealing with if she doesn't know how the body works. If you're a doctor, again, like electrical engineer, I mean, that's good for you. That I cannot imagine being that handy and being that good with your hands as well. Like just working in engineering in general, I feel like that needs a degree. He does ask, or the emailer asks, I personally feel like it's not worth it since after college it's tough to find a job, and he feels like they're gradually losing their value. I think so, but I think it's where there's that broad brush of to get a job, go to college. What do you want to do? And if going to college sets you up to get your foot in the door and start that career, then do it. It's even how college is set up now. Like, I don't think at 18 years old, anybody should be committing tens of thousands of dollars to an institution where they don't know what they want to do yet. Like, I think you go back to high school. I feel like high schools should be, by the time you're a junior and senior, you should be committing 3-4 hours a week, let's say, or like 1 day, 4 hours out of 1 day every week, and you go work at an electrical engineering, work in HVAC, work in construction, work at an accounting office, work as a lawyer, work at a radio station, expose kids to different jobs, and then they know what they want to do and what not to do. And then, like, first 2 years out of school, go to community college, get all your gen eds out of the way, save money.
I did that.
Yeah, and then I think that's, I wish I did that.
Yeah, I did that.
And then when you know what you want to do, then like you went to Towson, I went to Seton Hall. Right. It's expensive to go to those schools, especially if I was lucky I had a scholarship.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the debt right now. I would be done paying debt if I think I was more, purposeful with what I chose to do.
Intentional.
I look back and I can't say I would have been the place I am without Seton Hall. Without a doubt, I wouldn't. But I credit the internships I got thanks to Seton Hall. I credit professors I had like Professor Rondinella, who exposed me to TV and taught me the hard way and coached me hard, which I need. And I credit teachers like Jonathan Randall at Wayne Valley High School that exposed me to TV. And I would not have been exposed to a Thomas Rondinella or these internships if I didn't go to Seton Hall. I think it is losing value, but it's not losing value all around. I think college is still very valuable.
Yeah, I do too. Look, I'll say this. I think your way of thinking is a bit outdated, not so much a college. You saying, I want to go to college and then find a job after, that's an outdated thought, brother. You got to take the steps during college and even before to set yourself up for success post your education, okay? Whatever it is, trade school, college, whatevs. For example, I had a full-time job my senior year of college, and it's only because I had internships along the way. Someone left at one of the internships that I was at, a full-time employee. They offered me the job, and they said, we'll work around your school schedule. Nice. You tell us your class schedule, and we'll make 40 hours work outside of that. What am I supposed to say? No? But I sacrificed my senior year. A lot of my friends were going on trips and frat parties and doing all the cool stuff. When I wasn't in class or studying for said class, I was at work. But it's because I didn't have that, well, I got to figure out, employment once I graduate. It was like I was hustling, man. I was trying to make things happen while I was in school. And that set me up to graduate and already have a job in place. And all my friends were jealous, too. All the ones that went on the trips and went to the frat parties were scrambling to find work after. And many of them didn't in this industry. It's so competitive. I was already in, foot in the door.
You were doing 40 hours a week and 15 hours of classes, 12, 15 hours?
I don't even remember whatever my class was at that point.
Was it full?
I don't think so. Okay. Because I did 2 years of community college and then I did 2 years of the university. And by the time And I went to summer school during my 2 years.
Wow, dude.
So by the time my senior year came around, I probably wasn't full-time anyways.
Yeah.
But I remember my schedule for work. I was working weekends like a dog, 10-hour days on Saturday and Sunday. And then during the week, this is where I got to interview all the athletes because I would go to practices. I was field producing.
Nice.
So I would go get the sound, the interviews after a practice. I'd bring it back to the studio, and then I'd go to class in the afternoon.
That's
Isn't that
awesome.
crazy?
I love that.
I was hustling 7 days a week, bro. I'm still like that to this day.
And
like I do TV, I do radio. It's just who I am. I think it's how I'm wired. But that's why I'm telling you, don't have this mentality of I have to go to college and then I have to get a job and then I have to work there 30 years and then they give me a watch and I retire. That's old school, man. That's grandparents and parents' generation.
Yeah.
That ain't what we got, brother. You just got to hustle.
That's what it was. I always had a part-time job ever since I was a busboy in high school.
Hustler.
Stuck with that. And then I think of... Let me go back to the Giants again. When I was interning, so I actually did this. So before I got the internship for the Giants, I remember I was waitering at a restaurant in Montclair, and then I was working part-time at Vitamin Shop. But then the Giants called me like, hey, internship offer is yours. I was at Vitamin Shop for 3 weeks at that point.
Absolutely.
And I called the manager. She was on a train to DC. I feel so bad. And I remember like, hey, I got an internship. I'm working with the Giants. I got to quit. She's like, when's your last day? I'm like, it was today.
Yeah.
But
Gotta
same
go.
thing, like my boys, like I would go to parties, like, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, aren't you normally working? And I'm like, all right, I had a Saturday night off. I want to see my boys. But same thing, like after college, post-grad interning.
Hustle.
And I had the full-time job though. Yeah, the amount of hours, man, that was like some of the worst sleep of my life. Probably the most unhealthy lifestyle, but that's college kind of.
Well, that's what it takes.
And I got my foot in the door. Joplin, Madison, here.
It takes what it takes. So whatever path you choose, go hard at it and you'll be fine.
And the networking aspect, don't underlook that too of what you get out of college. Because my classmates and some of my best friends, like where they're working now, we still talk all the time. We still network all the time.
That's right.
We check in on each other. How can I help you? How can you help me? And we have those dreams down the road too. Like some of my friends are really smart people, and I'm hoping one day to be working for them. Hey, you want more conversations like this? Make sure to tweet at us using the hashtag NessonChat or email thechat@nesson.com to join the chat. Boston Center the Chat is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. That's Boston is Enter the Chat. Tweet at us, hashtag NessonChat. Email us at thechat@nesson.com. All right, this next piece. Here's the emailer. Hello. What's up?
Hello. Hi.
First time, last time. 5'10", 160, unless I spend a weekend in the North End, and then it's 165.
That's it. 5 pounds.
Right? I know. Good for him. I've been going to the same gym for about 4 years. Average cardio, functional fitness levels. I'm a personable guy who enjoys to chat, except for when I'm at the gym. As you can imagine, I've basically seen the same people every day for 4 years.
Yep.
Never once have I said hi to these people. That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
I see plenty of the regulars striking up conversations daily, and it's just never been something that I've been interested in doing.
Yeah.
Question. Does this make me a jerk? To me, there's nothing worse than when someone is hogging something because they spend 5 minutes chatting between sets. So I prefer to just keep the headphones in and say nothing to anybody. Or do I need to embrace my fellow 5 a.m. fitness friends or just continue to leave the headphones on in full blast? And he ends it, Belichick had to go. I'll listen off air. Not wrong on the last one. So he had me until the 5 a.m. Dude, I don't know. If you don't want to talk to anyone at 5 a.m., don't talk to anybody at 5 a.m. But these people are socializing. For 4 years, he's been going to gym at 5 a.m. I want to start there. You're insane. Good for you. I could never.
Yeah,
and he sees people striking up conversations. If you don't want to talk to anyone at 5 a.m., don't.
You're a jerk, bro.
What?
You're a total
jerk. But
jerk.
he minds his own business.
No,
he gets in and out.
You're a total jerk.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. First of all, you've been going at the same time. You just said, I see all the regulars. They're yucking it up. Bro, you're going to the gym at 5 a.m. Of course you're seeing the same people over and over. You know what you're seeing? You know what those people are called? Your tribe. Okay? Like-minded people, bro. You all set your alarm at 4, 4:30, whatever it is, to get to the gym at 5. Okay? And you've done it for 4 years, and you see the same people. You can't say hi, dog. You can have the headphones loud and be locked in focus. You can't chunk up the douche. You can't say, what's up, bro? Hey, how you doing? You don't have to stop and talk. I get that. But come on, bro. You can't speak to these people.
That's fair.
You can't say hi.
Yeah.
You can't say, hey, how you doing? You need a spot? You good? All right. Headphones in. I'm out. I'm locked in. Hey, you good? You cool? All right. Hey, you need to wipe that down? Nah, I got you. All right. You just headphones in, staring straight ahead? Come on, bro. You being a jerk. You got to relax. You got to chill out, man. You're all there with the common goals. You could be missing out on meeting some of the best friends of your life, bro. You already have something in common. You already have something to talk about. You already know. Hey, is he going to finish this set? You probably watch these patterns of these people, and you never actually said anything. You've probably seen some of these people struggling at the squat rack.
That's where it's messed up.
You can't go over and help bro out.
Yeah.
He's doing the same thing as you.
Yeah.
You're being a jerk. Someone in your life who loves you got to check you. I'm trying to help you out.
You love them.
Start saying good morning to people, bro. Put a smile on your face. Ask somebody if you using this 45 plate right here? No, all right, cool. Come on, man. You wilding out. You're being a jerk.
You do got to look out for yourself. Like, if you need a spot, you're just not going to ask anyone?
Bro, 5 a.m. for 4 years and not saying good morning is crazy. You doing too much. You got to relax, man.
Never once have I said hi to these people. That is nuts.
That's crazy.
I get that you don't want to talk to people. Like, if you don't
have to talk.
That's fine. But what's up? And also, like, see me being like the moron I am and just the extrovert. Like, one time I saw a guy, my old gym in Madison. He would walk. It was a 3-story gym, crazy setup. But he'd walk up and down the stairs for like 45 minutes.
Workout. Yeah.
So one time I struck him. I'm like, why do you do that? He's like, I'm a big hiker. I do the steps. Turns out he's from Iowa. We're living in Madison.
Great story.
We talk Big Ten football.
Of course.
I would talk to him all the time.
Of course.
I agree with you. There is a tribe. Like, my people at the gym in Joplin, especially when you're in Joplin, I was in there 10 a.m. every day. Like, those are my people.
It's your tribe.
You should
dog.
say hi to them.
You're
right.
Also, honestly, if me and George are working out and we're chatting it up at the bench for a couple minutes, and you said like you hate people to do that, that's a jerk thing to hate, bro. Like, you wilding out. I'm telling you, like, you got to look in the mirror, man. I'm trying to help you. If we're at the bench working out and we're just catching up on life for 5 minutes and then we go our way and we go back to benching and you're mad at that, that's hate in your heart, man. You got to chill. If George is sitting on the bench that you're waiting for on his device for 5 minutes,
how many sets you got left?
then I hate that too.
Yeah.
But if we're enjoying life at 5 a.m. in the gym at the same time every day for 4 years, how are the kids? They're good, man. How you doing? I'm good, man. All right, cool. Work's good? Yeah. All right, cool. See ya. And you're mad at that? That's not an us problem. That's a you problem. Come on, baby. Get it together.
You know, you pointed out, too, people going together for 4 straight years, 5 a.m. You know what those people are, too? Driven individuals.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
He's missing out.
Do yourself a favor and network. Buying a house right now, and the guy that's been doing my mortgage is awesome. Like, when I tell you, my favorite part of buying this house is talking to the guy doing my mortgage, which you would never expect, because that's the hardest part. You look at those numbers. He's great. You know how he met my real estate agent? They go to the same gym. 4:30 a.m.
See?
And he just struck it up. And the real estate agent's like, oh, you work at a bank? Hey, I have a lot of clients. I could use someone like you.
Boom.
Great
and
dude.
By the way, if you take our advice and you start saying hi, you start enjoying life
your
a little
mood.
bit.
Yeah, watch you
and
be
you
a little
start
happier.
smiling. You're going to get happy. You're going to make friends with these people. And you know the first thing they're going to say, you got to prepare yourself. They're going to say, man, I thought you were a jerk.
Yep.
There's your answer, bro. Live a little. Laugh.
Hey, you worked me on this one too. See, I went the 180 on this one. It's like, you don't see someone like, say if you're at a gym, especially if you're like out of state, I don't know where this person is. Say you see a Towson shirt, you're going to go up to him and be like,
Of course, man.
Towson?
But you've been around me long enough,
I know.
and you're the same way. Which
But that's
is why
all you
we get
got to
along.
say to people sometimes, even at 5
I believe
a.m.
in just being kind, period, bro. Like, you can't go through life with the damn headphones and the lock-in gaze. Come on, man. You do that with the weights. Lock in with the weights. Beat the weights up. Be a jerk to the weights.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it to the people around you. You wilding out, man. Just relax. That's our advice to you. Relax a little bit. Enjoy life. Have fun in the gym. Start saying hi. Watch your whole mood change.
I respect you enough to go to the gym at 5 a.m. Respect you more to be nice to people.
We're harping on the time. It could be the 5 p.m. crew. It doesn't matter. Whatever your time is, you're going to see the same, regulars, as you called them. Man, say what's up to people, man. Come on.
Right. Next one, emailer. Does someone's hairstyle really impact their job performance? So remember, email thechat@nesson.com. Hello, what's up? I'm an African-American male, and I've been growing out my hair since 2020, so 4 years now. So you can imagine that my hair is long. I love my fro because it tells a story. Recently, I've had an interview for a higher-paying job. People I know work for the company and said that more than likely I will have to cut my hair, okay? I don't know how to handle it. Do you think my hair has anything to do with how well I can do my job? I'll answer quick on the last one. No, your hair does not impact how well you do your job. But Trav, I want to ask you about this one. He's African-American. He has an afro, and it's probably like a big fro since 2020. Hey, good for you to have this interview for a higher paying job. I agree your hair doesn't impact it, but this is bigger than I need to cut my hair because with the afro, it clearly represents for him. What do you think on this?
I mean, I just wouldn't work there.
Right, that's my thought,
to be
too.
honest with you, I don't want to work somewhere that's telling me what to do with myself. Like, you got to cut your hair. Like, come on, bro. All right, well, I'll go get another job that's not going to ask me some stupid stuff like that. I do disagree with George to a certain extent. I do believe, like, I do think you can perform better with your hairstyle being what you want it to be. I just think that goes into how you feel.
Well, I was saying his hair has nothing to do with how well he does his job. So if he wants to keep the afro.
Right, yeah. I mean, but I'm saying, like, you need to be your best self.
Yeah.
So if growing your hair out and you're rocking the fro and that's what you want and that gives you your best vibes to put out, that's what you should do is what I'm saying. So my thing is, unless it's like, do you work in the food industry? Like, I don't know. He didn't really give us enough information. If you work in the food industry and a place is telling you got to do something with your hair because we don't want the hair in the food, well, then there's ways around that. You could still have an afro. You could put a hairnet. You could put a do-rag. You could contain that hair, in other words.
Yeah.
If they're telling you to cut your hair, you don't need to work there. Like, that's too much. So that's where I'm at. If you are in the food industry and they're not giving you another alternative, like, you don't have to cut your hair, but we need you to do something with that, then that's not that offensive. If you're not in the food industry and they're telling you to cut your hair, I think you need to look elsewhere for employment. If you are in the food industry and they're telling you to cut your hair, I still think you should suggest, well, I can do something. I can put something over this. And if they're still not cool with that, you need to look elsewhere. It's really that simple.
I mean, I agree with the ending point. Yeah. Like, if this job will not hire you because you have an afro, F them.
Yeah, you got to go, bro.
Now,
it's not worth it.
I also don't know, like, how badly do you need the job, But I say that in a way of, can you work around it? Braid your hair, get the job, look for another job that'll let you have an afro, then say...
Well, that's why I said the food thing. Because he could still rock the fro if you cover it. That's what I mean. I wouldn't have a problem putting something on if I work in the food industry and they say your hair's crazy. He doesn't even have to braid it.
Well,
but if they're not even giving you that option, there's other jobs to be had.
Exactly. There's other companies you can find. And I think you're saying food industry. I was just thinking, like, is he front facing? Like, does he work in sales and you're working with clients? But still, like, if you're good at sales and you're a personable person, you're good to work with. If someone, I've never had to deal with anyone from sales, but if they come to me and they have an afro, I'll be like, all right, cool, awesome. Like, I don't care about your afro. I care how good you are.
Yeah.
As whatever you do at the job.
Afros are groomed.
I think this says more about the.
Yeah.
Good point.
Your hair is groomed.
This says more about the company. But
he's been growing it since 2020. He said,
4 years.
Like, he cares about. He's taking care of this fro.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So even if you're in sales, if they're telling you to cut your hair, bro, you got to go look for another job.
Else. And like he said, people I know work for the company said that I more than likely will have to cut my hair. I do want to respond to him saying, like, I've had an interview, higher paying job. This is something important to him if he's taking the interview and even still wants to think about it. Talk to those people and be like, hey, keep it 100 with me. Will they say something about my hair? Does my hair matter? If they say yes, then you make the decision. You know what? I'm not going to interview. Mm-hmm. If they say no, then you go, oh, awesome. Mm-hmm. Like they said he likely will have to cut my hair. All right. And also, like, what gets me with this email, this is something that's nothing new that black people have faced. Like, there are crown laws in certain states because people have been discriminated against because they have afros or they have braids or they have certain styles of hair, but there are laws that prohibit that.
That's right.
It's not in all 50 states.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is deeper than getting a job. This is in like the racism that is in America that like I will never have to deal with this.
Yeah.
But I understand people have to deal with
That's
this.
why I leaned food, because there has to be a reason, a logical reason for a
True.
place to be asking you that, because these places know everything George just said and they don't want the lawsuits. They don't want to deal with that.
True.
So I'm going to assume here this is a food industry situation, and you can definitely put something over your hair no matter what your hairstyle is. In fact, that should be mandatory anyway. Even for me, I ain't got nothing to give, but I still should have to wear something over it, so you don't want any little follicles in your food. So if it's that and they're telling you to cut your hair, there are other jobs to be had, my friend.
Oh, and say he does, just devil's advocate. Say he wants this job. Say this is a company he wants to work at. Ask them. Hey, I don't want to cut my hair. What solutions do you guys have?
That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. Ask kind of counter. If it's food. If it's not food, you need to move on.
With anything, there more context would be good, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
If he needs this job, challenge him. What's your solution?
Right.
I don't want to cut my fro, so what do you want me to do?
Right.
And then if they're like, get it braided, are you going to pay for that? Because you can vouch for that.
Facts.
Like,
can negotiate.
I could keep it as an afro. I don't know how much that would cost. I assume it takes time, so it would be a lot of money, and you got to find someone that specializes in that. So same thing. Cool. Can I expense it? And then build up the cachet at the company. And if you want to go back to the afro, break it out.
Man,
and if they have an issue.
We giving game, baby. We giving game.
Because I'm like you, where my thing is, I'm going to be how I am.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to do a good job. And I know I'm not going to be perfect.
Right.
But in the sense of like, hey, I'll have the braids. I'm going to build enough cachet and rapport. I'm going to break the afro out.
Right.
But you guys already know who I am as a person and how hard I work, so the afro should be tolerated. I'm sorry this guy has to go through it, but I appreciate him emailing us. Hey, if you enjoy football talk and the latest on the Patriots, catch Foxborough Rush. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, available on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, wherever you get your podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, on Nesson's YouTube page, hit the subscribe button as well. All right, we got more gym stats here. 5'10", 210. Recently joined the 900-pound club, bench, squat, deadlift.
Big cat.
Congrats. I think the closest I've gotten, I've been in 800. I can't get to 9. My bench holds me back.
So that's everything combined?
Yeah.
Oh,
like my bench, if I went my all times, like bench is 240, deadlift is 415, squat is 3 plates, 315. I could probably go 335. I'm not going to do the math quick, but it's close.
Yeah, that is good. That's
900-pound club. Good for you. You also weigh 210,
Strong.
so you should be getting that.
5'10", too. Big.
Player comp. Grant Williams before he learned how to shoot. Lethal turnaround shooter from the low block. So you're Grant Williams with a Dirk Nowitzki bag? Confused here.
What a combo.
A little dream shake in there. Hey, folks, looking for some advice on how to deal with the conundrum I've run into a few times recently. My girlfriend, who I've been with for almost 2 years now, really does not like one of my childhood best friends, who she believes is interested in me.
Wait, what? It's a female friend.
Yeah. Here, I've known this girl, the friend,
all right,
since I was in elementary school, and now we're all in our mid-20s. So he's known her for like 15 years, let's say.
Oh.
I have dealt with a very similar situation in the past, as well as a previous girlfriend also wasn't a fan of this particular friend. So there's a common denominator. My current girlfriend claims that this girl is overly friendly with me compared to other men in our friend group. It's even a mix of men and women who my current girlfriend didn't know prior to us starting the date, but she only has an issue with this one. And also doesn't like that we used to hang out one-on-one prior to getting into relationships. There's never been anything between us, never will be, but it always becomes an issue when my friend group gets together and I want to involve my girlfriend. She doesn't really have an interest in being around this girl at all. Is it worth trying to ingratiate my girlfriend into this friend group, or should I just give up on participating in these outings if the friend is involved? It's not totally about her liking this one friend, but being comfortable enough around her in group settings. Okay, so that last line's important. She doesn't need to like the friend, but she's not comfortable around her. There's a common denominator. It's the friend, I hate to say, I think.
What are your thoughts on this?
Okay.
I've been in this situation, so I feel pretty strong.
I haven't been in this situation, but I've been in a spot where my girlfriend's like, I don't like this one friend. Are they worth hanging out with? But what's tough on him is like, do I give up on these group settings who are, it sounds like he has an awesome group of friends. They've all been together since elementary school, which is sick. And his girlfriend's obviously really important to him if he's debating and trying to push her to still bring her around. So his friend group is important to him. They've known each other for a long time. His girlfriend's important to him. I would talk to the friend that I've known, this one friend, and go, look, love you like a friend.
Be real.
We're really tight. My girlfriend, and lie a little. My girlfriend likes you. She loves being around our friend group. She loves everyone. But she doesn't appreciate how you can act around me. She thinks it's a little flirtatious. I told her it's not. But look, we're still friends, but we just need to be more privy of how we act around each other. Because I think this boils down to who's more important to you, the friend that's a girl or your girlfriend. And if the girlfriend's more important to you, your friendship with this girl will never be the same. And that is a good thing because this girlfriend's important to her, to you. So talk to the girl, and obviously, like, I don't want you to lose this whole friend group, and just be an adult. Talk to your girlfriend. Be like, hey, still want you to come around. And you have to have a talk with your girlfriend of like, I'm going to talk to so-and-so. And I'm going to tell her basically like, hey, girlfriend doesn't love the flirting. Or in your case, actually, what I would do here, I would be the bad guy. I would say, look, I get uncomfortable with how you act around me. Yes, we're like that. Yes, we have a long history. But to me, it feels like I'm disrespecting my girlfriend with the way we talk to each other, the way we touch. And it doesn't have to be like intimate, but it just, I can understand it. So I'm talking my way through this. How I would approach this, the friend group, which I understand is really important. And like your girlfriend is an extension of you. So you want her to be around your friends and be comfortable and have fun. Mm-hmm. Like nothing's better than having fun with your friends and the people that are really important to you. Mm-hmm. For me, how I would approach this, I would talk to the friend. I would be the bad guy and go, look, I understand it's not bad, but I want to be respectful to my girlfriend. Because if she was acting this way with someone of the opposite sex, even though they're really good friends around me, I'd feel a type of way. She's really important to me. You're really important to me. You're a friend. I just think we need to act a little more mature around each other.
I think that's great advice. I'm going to just tell you what I did and how it turned out. I was in the exact same situation as you. Okay. And the conversation I had with myself and the path I went down and why, I thought, okay, if I choose my girlfriend, my partner in this scenario over the friend group, and let's say I marry this person, can I see wedding bells with her? If the answer is yes, then you have to have this conversation, right? At that time, I didn't really feel that strongly about that particular person. And that person, on top of that, was telling me they were not comfortable around one of my girlfriends in that friend group, same as you. And so I said, I can't really see myself marrying this person, to be honest. And even if I could, if this girlfriend, current, becomes my wife, and I've pretty much discarded this other friend group, what happens if we 10 years, 15 years down the line get a divorce? It doesn't work. Things happen in life, right? Okay, so I get divorced. I definitely can't go back to that friend group and say, hey, guys, you remember me? Yeah, no, she's gone. So you want to hang out and get some beers and catch up on old time? Okay. So now you lost them both is where I'm going here.
Yeah.
I had all these internal conversations. I chose the friend group. And I don't regret it at all. In fact, I don't remember said person I'm talking about. I don't know. I wish them well. I don't know what they're doing in life. I never kept up with them. I broke up with her, and I went with my friend group. And you know what's funny about this and why I'm giving you this advice? Still have that friend group to this day. And within that friend group, within that village, I married the person I'm with today, a friend of mine in that friend group. In that mutual friend group, I ended up married, happy, 2 kids. Oh. So I'm not trying to make this like a life or death situation for you, but you need to really have some soul searching and think about what you want. What's more important to you? A life with this current girlfriend and a future with them? No problem if that's what you choose. You better see wedding bells and you better really lock in and commit to that person because you're losing an entire friend group, okay? I chose to go the other way, and it was the right decision. Not saying that's what you should do, just saying that's the way you need to kind of break it down in your mind and think about this.
Because I also think of posing the scenario. Let me find the line. Is it worth ingratiating my girlfriend into this friend group? Should I just here it is. Should I just give up on participating in these outings if the friend is involved? You don't want to. Every time your whole friend group gets together, you call one of your boys, go, hey, who's going to be there? Eventually, they're going to start asking why. And within your friend group, they're going to notice it.
No, he's got to make a decision. And that's what I'm saying.
I would go to the girlfriend and be like, look, love you, love my friends. Makes me really happy when we all hang out together and we have a good time. I understand where you're coming from, that you don't appreciate how Cindy treats me. She make up a name. I'm going to talk to her. And you say this to her. You go, I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to be the bad guy in this. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. I'm going to take it. And I will talk to her about we need to be better. And it's a thing of I want to be better. Mm-hmm. Talk to the girlfriend, say this is what I'm going to do. And let her understand too, like I'm doing this because you're important to me. And when we all hang out, that's important to me. And it just makes me happy. You make me happy. They make me happy. When we're all together, I'm really happy. But I understand this one thing makes you unhappy. So I'm going to try and handle it. Yeah. And then talk to the friend again, be the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And if that friend doesn't change, then you got to have a harder conversation with that friend and be like, look, we can't be friends anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, I chose a particular path in your scenario and it worked out for me. But I just think cut and dry, you're going to have to pick, you're going to have to choose.
Yeah.
She's putting you in a position to choose. I think you're going to have to choose here. I think you're going to have to just stay with the girlfriend and move forward and not hang out with those people anymore, your friends, or she's got to go, and then you stick with your friend group and figure it out. You know, you can always find
one or the other.
I know, but it really.
I get it though.
It's like that sometimes.
Well, I'm with you. Like if you there is not to boil it down to be so blunt.
Yeah.
There's a calculation in your head with anyone you date.
Sure.
Are they worth it in whatever scenario?
That's right.
If you say yes, all right, you're going to fight through it and figure out a solution. If you say no, then you go, all right, then break up with the girlfriend.
In my case, I was never given an ultimatum. It's not like the girl came to me and said,
the choice
them or
yourself.
me. She didn't do that.
Yeah.
It was through what you're going through. It was the several times we would hang out and my girlfriend being uncomfortable around my friend group and in the way a certain person in that group would act around me or whatever. And then when I would get where it was just me and the girlfriend privately, she would complain to me about all my friend group at that time. And then my friend group, when I would hang out with them without my girlfriend, would complain about my girlfriend. So it was like, man, I'm sick of this. I ain't living like this forever. So I picked a lane and I made the right choice. But it's unfortunate that you may have to cut ties with one or the other. But that's really my advice is you're going to have to make that choice of who you pick. I think you got to pick here.
I think also like she doesn't have an interest being around this girl at all. Look, you're 5'10" in the 900-pound club. I bet you're a stud. And I bet your girlfriend's good looking. She may be intimidated or feel threatened by this girl. So again, like I understand where the girlfriend's coming through in this. So I see the points you're making and you make that calculation of what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming 2 years together, this person must be important to him if he's even debating between friends and her, you know?
Sure.
So that's a tough stitch.
It is, but
I've had my girlfriend's looked out where she's like, hey, like, and it wasn't in this scenario, but she's like, I just don't think those people are too good of friends. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like we talked about
women's intuition is always money too,
and it comes around on the other end too.
Yep.
Because, she'd be doing something. I'll be like, look, like we don't even care about these people.
That's right. Right.
That's what's big. It's like, I know you don't care. And that's what significant others are really important for.
Yeah.
Of you call them out on their stuff.
Right.
You check each other, but it's out of love.
Yeah.
You don't tear each other down.
That's a great point. And that's a great way to end this one is you should never be with anybody that's telling you anything. Look, if you're making the decision like, all right, I got to make a decision here, the girlfriend or the friend group, that's one thing. But if she's giving you ultimatums, like you can't hang out with those people. No, how about you can't hang out with those people or me, you're done. How's that sound? If you're with anyone relationship-wise, it's telling you who you can and can't and what you can and can't say and who you can be. Nah, you got to kick rock. So, take your time on this one, bro. But I'm leaning, for the record, to the friend group.
Yeah, if you get that, you can't hang out with these people.
Yeah, nah.
Like, I don't want you hanging out with them.
That's right.
Yeah, you cut that.
You got to go.
That's a slippery slope. It's now, you're 2 years in.
Right.
10 years in, you're not going to have friends.
Yeah, facts.
15, 20 years, you're not going to have friends.
You're not going to have freedom. How's that sound? I mean, if she's telling you to hang out with her, bro, like, you got to get out of there. Come on.
I like it, both sides.
Both sides.
I liked it.
You got choices to make, bro.
Hey, the NBA season is here, and the big question is, will the Celtics repeat and claim Banner 19? You can find everything about the NBA and its culture on Nesson's basketball podcast, Hold My Banner. Travis Thomas and Ante Campbell host that. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, another one here. Remember, the chat at Nesson.com or tweet at us, #NessonChat. thechadandnesson.com to send in some life advice. What's up, guys? What's up? I'm getting ready to propose. Been with my girlfriend for 6 years now. About time.
Don't do them like that.
Met junior year of college. All right, no, this is fair. Met junior year of college. Did the just graduated living at home with the parents to save money thing. Now have been living together the last 3 years in the city. Good, you're living together. I think that's important. You can be together with someone for 6 years. Are you living with them? That's important before you throw the ring on it. She's awesome, so the proposal part doesn't have me stressed at all. But talking to my buddies that have proposed, the question it all varies between them is getting natural cut or lab-grown diamonds. Oh. Right now, I'm saving. Haven't even begun the convo of a ring yet to know what she wants. But as I try and figure that out, I've seen the price between natural cut and lab-grown, and wow. So my question is, how do I figure out what my girlfriend wants? Do I have any say as I'm the one buying the ring after all? Love the show, Trav. Keep the beard. Oh, nice. Fan of the facial hair. So,
oh man, this is easy. This is a layup.
Let me hear yours,
bro. 6 years? You don't know what she wants? You should know. You should know everything.
Fair.
6 years?
Yeah.
Come on, man. What you been doing in the 6? Y'all ain't had no marriage talk, no proposal talks. You should know where she wants to be proposed to, what kind of cut of diamond. Now, look, like natural or lab grown is intense. I never had that conversation with my wife to that extent. I knew what cut of diamond she wanted. She liked princess cut. And I knew her, grandiose, ideal proposal. I knew all that. But, like, you need some more information here. Some of this, like the natural or the lab grown stuff, that's on your budget, too. Like, she gets what she gets. I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, but it's like, look, unless she tells you specifically, I want lab grown or I want a natural, then that's different. But you should know all that. I guess my point being, you should know all the information. Like, why are you coming to us? You should already know. You should be asking us, how should I save for this ring that I know my girl wants? Lab grown, freaking this cut, that. Then that's, you come to us for that. If you don't know this basic information in 6 years, you haven't done your job, pimp. Like, you got to get it together.
Does she have sisters? Does she have friends that you're friends with?
Well, she should have told her. He should have inquired this stuff.
Yeah, so, like you point out, you remembered your wife now wanted, what, a princess cut?
She wanted princess cut.
I don't even know what that is, but cool.
Yeah.
So, I'm literally going through this as we speak, where I even took my girlfriend, like one time she had to get something fixed. You're in the Diamond District in Boston. And my buddy's a jeweler. I'm like, let's stop by Mike. And I go, you explain it to him. Because same thing, like what you're stressing, and I understand it. Do I have any say as I'm the one buying the ring after all? You don't want to spend money and then have to send the ring to get adjusted. Because my friends have run into that.
Oh.
And that's a red flag. But look, you've been with her 6 years. You said the proposal doesn't stress you. I literally took my girl to a jeweler. I go, explain it to him. And I know now by heart what she wants. Infinity stone, so it's all around infinity band.
Yep.
Yellow gold setting, 4-prong emerald cut. Cool. And then I had the convo with her. I go, do you want natural cut or lab grown? And we had a convo. It did get somewhat intense, but she said, look, I want natural cut. It's what I want. I can't explain why. And as one of my best friends said it to me, and I think it's the truest thing. He's already married. He goes, she knew she wanted natural cut before she ever knew you existed. Mm-hmm. That's not going to change now. And I went, all right, fair. And I did say to her, now, if you're in a spot and I had enough time to save, and I've been saving at a very, very strict budget where the natural cut won't kill me. But you look at natural cut and you look at lab grown, like lab grown is like a third, quarter of the price it could be. And if you're in that situation where you go, look, I want to, but I have to go lab grown because of this, then she has to understand. And if she doesn't, then again, that's all right, you got to take a step back and go, is this really worth it?
I don't even know which one of those my wife has, but but you know what's crazy? Talking this out with us too, you didn't know the princess cut, right?
Yeah.
So it goes to show what we're telling you. You have to have information of your partner, bro. You should know everything.
Yeah.
By the way, I just Googled this when you were talking. Princess cut's a cut, emerald cut, round, oval shape, marquise. So there are different cuts of diamonds. So for example, to my wife, that was important. That specific cut of how the diamond looks. To George's point, lab grown or natural, it changes person to person. So you got to be able to, you have to know. What have you been doing for 6 years? I wish I could talk to some of these people back and forth right now.
Well, you are, though.
I want to ask so many. No, but I have follow-ups.
But you're giving them the hard truth.
Like, what have you, proposals hasn't come up. Weddings hasn't come up.
No.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. We're just relaxing.
Oh, nah, bro.
Well,
hey, you know what? You need to shack or get off the pot is what you need to do. There's my advice.
They're 26. They've known each other 6 years, junior of college, let's guess.
6 years?
That's still, right, 26, been living together the last 3 years. Yeah, I don't know how you don't talk about the last 3 years.
Like, come on.
So, I agree. Talk to her. Ask her.
Come on.
Ask her best friends. Ask her sisters. Ask her mom.
You haven't proposed in 6 years.
Ask her aunts.
So,
they're all wondering the same thing.
So you can get away with all this right now. You can ask all the questions.
Yeah.
So what do you like? Well, what are you doing? You're going to propose soon? I don't know. It's been 6 years. Maybe I'll wait another 6. She's going to get mad. And then next year propose. Fine.
Yeah.
But what have you been doing?
Yep.
You need the information, my friend. We can't help you with the information. You can't ask us. You got to ask her.
How did your proposal go? We got some time left. Yeah, I want to hear. What did you do?
I called an audible at the line. So I had a whole elaborate thing planned on Christmas Eve. I asked her parents for their blessing the day before, and her parents were like, yeah, it sounds good. Yeah.
But
sounds
did you
good.
like
so
them?
I told them that tomorrow,
like you knew.
on Christmas Eve, I'm going to do this. Can I get your blessing? They were like, absolutely.
Nice.
Cool. They asked me the plan. I told them, cool. Day of proposal, Christmas Eve. My wife had the worst day of her life.
Yeah.
So I punted on my elaborate plan and just did it at home. Me and her still made dinner, had the fireplace, the whole thing. It was still picturesque, but I did it at home as opposed to what I was going to do originally.
Nice.
So that's the other thing. You got to know that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah,
6 years, you need more information.
Plan B.
That's right.
Exactly.
You need more information, bro.
I got my plan A up here. I can't give it away just in case my girlfriend watches this episode.
Plan A is cooking, though.
I have plan A. Plan B is stressing me out, bro. Because there's not, like, I don't want plan B. I will be pissed if I have to resort to plan B. But plan A is going to be risky. Look. Talk to her. Literally say, look, I'm saving up. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. What kind of ring do you want? She goes through everything and then go, natural cut, lab grown, and explain to her too.
That's right.
Hey, lab grown and natural cut, they're both diamonds. 10 years ago, you wouldn't want to get lab grown. Now, as I've explained it to my boys who have asked me the same advice. And look, I'm going natural cut. It's what she wants. Cool. Mm-hmm. I'm totally fine with it. Mm-hmm. I've seen the ring, and I tell you, I love it. So I'm going to be happy when I get it. Mm-hmm. A baby... Natural pregnancy or a baby in IVF is still a baby.
That's right.
A diamond natural cut from the earth, a diamond lab grown is still a diamond.
Hello.
So save that bullet
well said.
if you need it. Yeah, right? This was fun, bro.
It was great. I want to do more of these.
Hey, send them in. thechat@nesson.com or tweet at us, #NessonChat. Obviously, you'll need more than 280 characters. So I would say do the email, but bring the life advice. We'll bring these into the shows. Yep. If you want to talk sports as well, appreciate you guys taking the time to email us. It was fun talking through this, learning from you. I hope I did the same to you, Trav, and everyone emailing in. That's thechat@nesson.com. And I got to give the shout out before we go too. I'm a big avid listener of the Ryan Russillo podcast. Mm-hmm. They do this, so I'm not trying to act like I'm original or recreating the wheel, but it was fun to bring it on the show. So always like listening to those guys. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Bilecki. This was Boston Center, the chat in the PNC Bank studio. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple or wherever, like, subscribe, download, rate, and review. We'll see you guys with the next episode later on this week. Have a good one.